Hi, and welcome to the Selected Tech podcast, brought to you by a group of 4 MVPs doing webinars, sessions, and interviews on all things SharePoint, Office 365, and the Microsoft AI ecosystem. Their motto is learn, share, reuse. And here they are, Albert Jan, Rick, Stefan, and Tommy.
Hi, and welcome at a new episode of our webinar. Tonight, we're going to talk about the options you have in bringing something live to the store. So what Rick is actually going to show us is a sample bot that he built, the Office 365 Q&A bot, and he's going to show us what you need to do to actually bring that live in the store. What actions do you need to take, and are there things that you have to take into account when building it, because it's then going to be a multi-tenant bot if you put it in the store. So some of the remarks that we found useful to share with you guys.
Oh, yeah, let's get started. So let's close this one. I'll quickly show you what the bot does. It's actually pretty simple. The starting point was just something to help you with Microsoft 365, because apparently you can also Google it, but it's way easier if you can just if people, end users, can just type something in Teams and then just search for it. And it's even better because you can narrow your search queries if you use the Bing Custom Search API. But let's go a little further on that one in a little bit. So let's just say I just type how do I don't know, create a SharePoint list. No, create a channel in Teams. Let's take that one. So just ask a question and it answers. We get like, there we go, and we get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 answers. So you can choose a select. We just show a small one, small image, title, a link, a little subscription, and you can open it up in the Microsoft.com website. This redirects me now because I'm in the Dutch redirect site. So actually pretty simple, but getting into the store is a little bit, it's not harder, but it's just a lot of paperwork and a lot of administration, because you have to, there's a difference between getting items. So the store for Microsoft is called AppSource. And there's a difference in adding items of apps for Teams than there are for Dynamics, or you could do Power BI, or what else? I think there's also for Azure. But for the Teams team, there's an additional validation that you need to go to. So it makes it a little bit difficult because the first thing you have to do, wait, I'll show you the bot first. So basic code, pretty simple, as you can see here. Still the core bot. I just downloaded the core bot and I started building. Same dialogue, the only magic stuff that's happening is in this step. This is the second. So the first time we say, hi, what can I help you with? And the second time we do, if you say, okay, I want to search for something, then we go to this API cognitive service, api.cognitive.microsoft.com, Bing custom search. And there you can give a search term and you have to give a custom config ID. Now, what does this custom config ID do? Well, in your custom search API, you can say, okay, I want to do a search query, but I only want these 2 websites or 10 websites added. So I only search for support.office.com and Microsoft.com, which makes it pretty easy. You can even test it out. So whatever I search for, if I search for Outlook, I'm not getting my blog results or your blog results or whatever, or Facebook data or something. No, just the ones I want, because Microsoft support is actually a pretty good site. And this way you can scope your search queries, and makes it a lot easier because, as you can see, the bot, where is the bot? Here. The bot was actually just, I'm doing it in English now, but a search query is a search query. So I can do in Dutch, I don't know, hoe moet ik een kanaal maken? For the people who don't say Dutch, who don't understand Dutch, it's how do I make a channel in Teams? And at least, so why does the bot speak a little bit English? So the what can I help you? Else can I help you with? That's because I'm a lazy developer and I hard-coded that sentence. But the results are in Dutch. So because the search is just a search query on Bing, so it knows. And that's okay. It's not a Google search query, it's a Bing search query. But for the supported Office.com, it's quite decent. And what you get back, so you get your results back. They're like a Bing custom search response, which are kind of web pages. So you get like lots of web pages. What's in those web pages? You get like a display URL and a name, and the image URL I created because I see what the result is, and then I just see, okay, is there the Outlook in it, or is it the SharePoint, or is it Teams? And I just take an image that I put in the solution right from Outlook or from Teams or from just a screenshot. That just to make it a little bit nicer. And then of course we have to see how many respond. If it's one, then we send one back, and if it's multiple, then we send back a carousel. It's code is not that specific and not that really difficult. The only thing I had a problem with was so if you put something in the store, it's gonna get tested, of course. So you need to provide the team that tests it, or this app development support team from Teams or something. They will test it, and you will have to provide them with a tenant with credentials, of course, because they have to. Yeah, it's a Teams app, so they have to log in somewhere, and you have to provide them with some test nodes. And the thing I didn't test, of course, was because you start developing your app and you're typing and adding something to the manifest, next version, uploading your code again, everything's okay. So yeah, in your dev tenant, you added the manifest the first time, and then you build on top of that. But the first time you add an app, of course, you install it in your team, then of course, yeah, it's a different use case. Something else happens and there's a different flow. So yeah, I fumbled on that one. I really messed that one up. Normally it should be okay now. I have a new tenant here, as you can see. Let's see if I can install the app. So it should be in the store. 365 QA. Yeah, here we go. Install. It's added to, I don't know, private chat or something. No, not a chat. I just want to add it. There we go. See, and the first time you get this welcoming card, you need to provide some kind of welcoming card and an overview. It's if you put something in the store, they really want you to explain what you're doing and to make sure that it's all nice. And I had a problem as well with the icons. As you can see, the icons, make sure that the icons are, because this one has to be like transparent, and this one has to be a normal icon, and it has to be exact that size of icon, not 1 pixel bigger. So I had some troubles with that because again, I'm a lazy developer, so I just said, yeah, take this icon. It works on my dev machine, but yeah, in the store it's a little bit more trickier. And then, yeah, of course, that's the difficult one. To get items in the store, you need to have a company, or the company you work for, they have to be a Microsoft partner. That's the way the ecosystem works. So in the Android store, or is it Google Play Store for your Android phone, or the iPhone store, yeah, you can just write, I'm going to be a developer. I think you have to pay for it, like 10, it used to be like that for an iPhone. You have to pay for, I don't know, an account or something. And then you can just upload apps. Well, yeah, not for Microsoft. You have to be a partner, and then from the partner center. That's the trouble here. So you start with uploading it's all, well, recently good documented, and there's a lot of steps you have to do. So you upload, you give it a name, you upload your manifest, your Teams app package. As you can see here, this was already my V111. And then the moment you upload this, you cannot say, okay, I want to submit it. No, you first have to send an email to them. And then I had a quick chat with them. So they set up a meeting. I demoed the stuff, which was actually pretty good because, yeah, you can write all the test nodes that you want. But yeah, in a meeting, if you just demo it like what I did in 2 minutes, it's way easier. And you can explain, okay, it works like this. Okay, see, for this one, there's no authentication required. If there was authentication required, I had to see, okay, how was my authentication? Was that set up properly? Because then it was a multi-tenant app. Now it's, okay, it's still a multi-tenant app, but you don't have to authenticate. So it gets installed into your tenant, but you don't need to authenticate. So it makes it a little bit simpler also for them to review it. And then they say, okay, we'll get back to you. And then I was lucky, 1 day later, I already had a message that I can click the button to publish it in the QA app, in the partner center. And then they will, the team behind the partner center will contact that team, and they will ask, is this okay? And then you get your listing, and it uploads to the store. Yeah, and then you have to say something. And of course, yeah, this is also a difficult one. So you have to create a document support link. Okay, we can all do that. It's a little bit boring, but you can do that. But you also have to give a privacy policy and a end user license agreement. So yeah, that's a little bit more difficult. That's where the lawyers come in. But yeah, or yeah, somebody of the company that is good in that. So that was a little bit more difficult. And then you just have to say, okay, it's this category. And then of course you can say, okay, do I want to manage additional languages? It's still English because I could detect the user language and make sure that it translates everything. But and then to make it a little bit more, interesting, because as I think Stefan already told, a bot always has to say something. So I already I just created the chit chat from the Q&A maker and just implemented that one to see it interrupts. I do an interrupt every message that comes in to see if it's something that the Q&A maker recognizes. So if I say, tell me a joke, oh, my caps lock as well, tell me a joke, then it should normally go to the Q&A maker. And see, I'm not really that funny. See, so that you at least have some kind of response, because yeah, tell me a joke is not going to be found on the search query. Even and to get, when I was testing it, I even figured out, so now there's the Q&A maker, so I cannot say normal sentences, because then I go to the Q&A maker. And if you do a search query, then usually you get something back. So if you really want to test that you cannot find nothing, you have to say like a car, machine, I don't know, Teams upload my picture into the, I don't know, whatever ship, say something else, space. And then normally, so if you just to say random words, then normally you should go past the, still find something on the store. So wait, and then I know the trick. If I copy paste this, then it says, yeah, my name and my and the time, okay. And that doesn't find anything, because that was the most difficult. Oh crap, it still found things. So yeah, it's difficult to test what happens if you don't get a result back. So one thing is good if you find if you do a search backend search system on a bot, but the other hand is, yeah, you also need to test the what happens if you don't find an answer. But yeah, it's difficult to find if you don't find an answer. So
but you're passing in the whole sentence to the custom search API, right?
Yeah, just the entire sentence.
That works pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it works pretty good. Yeah, and if people expect it to be like a bot, so if they really type, okay, this is my question, how do I? Because support.office.com is actually, it's built like that. If you go to see if I Google it, how to I don't know, upload a file to SharePoint, and you go to office.see support.office.com. Google even indexes it really nicely with the images, and it's really written in a question and answer, in a more normal language, in a more normal language. So because if you really start using it like, okay, it's a computer program, and I start to use commands, so Outlook or wait, what did I say, SharePoint upload file, you will find it, but actually the results are a little bit not that good actually. See, then you get like SharePoint document libraries in SharePoint, because but if you do the real sentence, then it's much better results. How to upload a file to SharePoint? Let's copy paste that one here. See, now you get much better results. So that's the difference. And then for the resources in Azure, you just need to create a Bing custom search API where you get the key to use it. This is that's what you see here, this OPM subscription key. I know they're stepping away from that in Lewis, right? Or in some service going away from. So let's see how long this one is gonna last. Probably not that long as well. Go to all.
They're unifying all of them, all of cognitive services under one service. So you can have one Azure service, and then you can just add Lewis and Q&A Maker, and you just have one key for all of them.
Yeah, that's much better.
Makes it much easier. Yeah.
And then these are the app service plans. What else? Oh, this is just to see if it's a ping test, to see if it's online, and nothing much.
How much resources did you allocate for the app service?
I think this is this is also used for other stuff. So I just had a resource group, an app service plan that was still running. So this one is just a B1. Yeah, it's not used that heavily. So I think if you go to the wait, one way back, if I go here, and I go to analytics, it's not used heavily. It's in the store, so but it's not used that much. Let's see. Not that much. We have 218 users, so it's not that much. 36, 27. This is worldwide, so it's not used that much.
Okay.
But yeah, I just wanted to have the experience to see if, and maybe it helps, because this is just an example on how you do. So you can expand this with, if I put real questions in the Q&A maker, then you could expand this even more. Then you can make it company focused, because this is now for everybody. But if you add more questions to the Q&A maker, like how do I upload files to my SharePoint, then you can say, okay, go to this URL. The Q&A maker can make it more personalized. But yeah, if you put something in the store, it has to be generic for everyone. It makes it, that's a little bit more difficult, of course. And then the other thing, if you put something in the store, is it has to be a free app. So you have to create a free app, or you have to implement your own payment system and freeware system or trial system. And I didn't want to do this. This is just a B1. I can manage that from the from the Azure store, the Azure credits we get. So that's manageable. It's doable. So that was it.
Pretty cool.
Just
Really cool.
just to play around with it.
Pretty straightforward. Few things to be aware of before submitting to the store, but
Yeah, but they're actually pretty good. The support was actually pretty good. They were pretty fast in the
Nice.
in their response. Yeah, I think I sent an email. I think I got a response the same day. I had a meeting with them a few days later, and they said, "Okay, we're gonna check it." And I think 2 days later, I already got, "Okay, you're approved." Okay, I fucked up some things like the icons was I messed up the icons, and then like the this was also a difficult one. So you have to go product overview, and here you have to where was product setup? There's somewhere where you have to do the developer name, but that's already filled in, of course, because it's this partner, so it's Vantiv, the company's name, and in the manifest, of course, I put okay, it's my name, and they said no, those can be different, those have to be the same. So that was also a little. That's why I'm on V11 of the manifest. Just a few stupid mistakes, but it was actually pretty simple.
so I know that in the Office store there were actually requirements that your page had to load within a specific time frame. So let's say you have to have sub 2 seconds page loads, I think. Do they have stuff like that in here as well?
It's within a reasonable time, I thought.
Okay.
In the documentation is, let me see, Teams app source. There's a checklist that you have to do. App approval process guidance. So you have to follow the design guidelines, which is normal. So if you create a tab, like do I have a tab somewhere? Yeah, here. Don't put navigation into navigation, or keep a little bit. Make sure that you follow the colors of Teams, and that you don't start with black and yellow and green and blue, which is normal. And then the validation policy, that's regarding the authentication and stuff like that. So if you have heavy errors and graphic elements, but that was, in my case, that was all pretty simple.
That makes sense.
And that was a submission checklist. There was something with the a lot of that they have a page that says the most common errors. So those did help a little bit. You're testing and debugging your frequently failed cases. So see that you have the latest or almost the latest manifest version, so that your app doesn't stop responding or is unexpected or something like that. But see, I hear this. Response times must be reasonable, so it's not within that many seconds, but response to user must occur within 5 seconds for a compose extension. And then the bot is normal within 2 seconds or 3 seconds. It's normal. See, this is the extensive Chrome. Yeah, it's a lot of checking.
Good documented.
Yeah, it's really good documented. Yeah, and they help you with it, which is you don't get that a lot. So
that helps as well.
Yeah. See, this one I screwed up. Bots must send a welcome message on the first launch. So that has to be different.
Cool.
Okay, that was it.
Cool,
Nice.
cool. Thanks for showing us, Rick.
No problem.
Thank you for listening. Make sure to check out the show notes at selectedtech.show to get all the mentioned references. And one more thing, please tweet about the podcast and give them a 5-star review. This really helps the guys a lot. Thank you and see you next time. Bye.